Are we masters of our fate? Fate versus free will. Hello and welcome back to Philosophy Examined. Today, we are surrounded by complex systems that seem to predict our behavior. From social media algorithms suggesting what we watch next, to predictive policing and targeted advertising, these systems raise compelling questions. Are our actions truly our own, or are we simply following a predetermined path laid out by complex algorithms and personal circumstances? In essence, do we possess free will, or are we subjects of determinism? This isn't a new question. In fact, it's an age-old philosophical debate, a mind-bending duel between fate and free will. In this episode, we're embarking on a journey through time, exploring how our ancestors grappled with these concepts through the lens of the great thinkers who defined them, to our present day, where technology and science are adding fascinating layers to this debate. In this episode, we will examine determinism and free will, confronting questions that challenge our understanding of autonomy, accountability, and ultimately, what it means to be human. It's a tug-of-war between determinism and the idea that we are autonomous beings who shape our destinies. Let's take a journey through the ages, from the time of the ancient Greeks to the present day, examining the key arguments, thinkers, and current ideas on this subject. The concept of fate or destiny has roots in ancient cultures. The Greeks, for instance, believed in Moirai or the Fates, goddesses who determined the lifespan of every mortal, when they would be born and when they would die. In contrast, philosophers like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle believed in a certain degree of free will, viewing humans as rational beings capable of making choices. Fast forward to the advent of Christianity. Saint Augustine wrestled with the concept of free will in the context of God's omniscience. He argued that although God knows what will happen, or foreknowledge, it doesn't mean he predetermined it. God's knowing our future actions doesn't prevent us from acting freely. In the Age of Enlightenment, philosopher Thomas Hobbes suggested a mechanistic view of the universe. He argued that everything, including human action, could be predicted if one had enough knowledge about the circumstances. This is known as materialistic determinism, a precursor to more contemporary views of determinism. Immanuel Kant, however, proposed a perspective that reconciled freedom with causality. He differentiated between the phenomenal world, where everything is determined by natural laws, and the noumenal world, the world of things in themselves, where the mind exists free from such causality. The existentialists, particularly Sartre, took the concept of free will to its extreme. Sartre argued that we are condemned to be free and bear the heavy responsibility of creating our essence through our actions. As we transitioned into the modern era, scientists began to grapple with these philosophical concepts. Deterministic views were bolstered with the advent of classical physics, and Newton's laws suggested a clockwork universe where everything could be predicted given enough information. However, the development of quantum mechanics in the 20th century introduced the possibility of indeterminism at the microscopic level, leading to a renewed debate about the nature of free will. Today, the discussion about determinism versus free will continues in the realms of neuroscience, psychology, and computer science. Some neuroscientists, like Sam Harris, argue that our decisions are the product of preceding neural activity, and thus, we have no free will. In contrast, philosophers such as Daniel Dennett propose compatibilism, the idea that determinism and free will are not mutually exclusive. He suggests that while our actions may be determined by previous events, we still act according to our desires and intentions, which can be considered a form of freedom. Determinism or free will? Is it an either-or situation? Can we find a middle ground, or are we always teetering on the edge of this philosophical precipice? This age-old question continues to bewilder us, challenge us, and prompt us to think deeper about our existence and our actions. The debate remains open, and interpretations vary. Some argue that if everything we do is determined, our idea of morality and justice crumbles. Should we be held responsible for our actions if they were predetermined by previous events or our neural wiring? Others worry about the societal implications if everyone started believing in hard determinism. Would this belief impact our motivation, ambition, and the way we treat each other? Recent research in quantum mechanics, genetics, and neuroscience has added more layers to this debate. Are our decisions merely the result of quantum events, genetic programming, or neural activities? Some view determinism from a fatalistic angle, thinking that our lives are like scripts that we're bound to follow. Others see it from a naturalistic perspective, where our actions are influenced by natural laws, but we still maintain a degree of freedom within that deterministic framework. Looking ahead, how might advancements in AI and our understanding of the brain further influence this debate? Can a machine ever have free will? These questions provoke thought and keep the discussion alive. As we conclude our journey through this philosophical landscape, it's clear that there's no easy answer to the question of fate versus free will. What's critical is the conversation, the debate, and the exploration of ideas that challenge our understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe. What do you think? Are we merely puppets in a deterministic universe, or do we have the freedom to shape our own destinies? Do we find solace in determinism, or does it unsettle us? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue this fascinating conversation. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more explorations into the compelling world of philosophy. Until next time, keep questioning and examining your world.